All right, we're back. Before the match, I had UCLA winning. I thought they were going to win in five. Um, but it took me a while to come up with that conclusion. I honestly thought for a while, a couple of days before, that Hawaii was just going to be too overwhelming, especially at home. 10,000 screaming fans behind them, playing with the chip on their shoulder, trying to prove to the country that they're the best team in the nation and they have a legit shot of winning the national title. And then you pair that up with, the pressure of UCLA still being undefeated, maybe some not signs of complacency, but just the reality of what being undefeated brings, which can bring some feelings of being too comfortable. I was very wrong. And I think that's giving credit to this UCLA team. They continue to awe me every single time they play. And tonight was no different. It's two things for me. It's the fact that they always look comfortable and they never look rattled. There were times in this game, specifically in that third set, where Hawaii started off the set super strong. Tatriski was bringing in a bunch of energy, and UCLA just stuck to their guns, man. You can tell how connected they are. The level of trust and excitement when their teammates score. The culture of this UCLA team, man, is just, you could tell it's special. And then you pair that with just the fact that they're the best athletes in the nation, right? Like Sean Kelly, for example, man, like this dude tonight hitting over 600. And then, one of the best performances of the year by anybody against a top three team. Some people, including myself, had them at two going into this match. After the match, he gets interviewed, and it's not, yeah, that was a great night. It was like a look of surprise because of how locked in he was. But then the first things that come out of his mouth are Zach Rama's the best passer in the country. And I couldn't have done it without my teammates. Andrew Rowan has a ball on a string, right? None of these things are verbatim, but that's my point. Is it's always credit away, and that shows how connected this team is, and in my opinion, what makes them so scary on top of them just being so good talent-wise. But yeah, so Sean Kelly had a freaking incredible game, best game of the year so far. Like I said, Rama played incredible too, especially on the defensive end. I think he finished with 6 digs and 10 or 11 kills. I don't have the stats pulled up. And like I said, man, David Decker, bro. I've been I wouldn't say critical on him. I've just been very observant of how he's been playing, simply because we know what we're going to get from Rama, Kelly, even Rowan and Cam, obviously. You could throw Micah in there as well, too. But David Decker is going to be the difference maker. And that he was a huge reason why they blew Hawaii out by so much in that first set, is because not only was he terminating balls on that right side, both front row and on that D ball, but was just such a big defensive presence too. And then you pair that with the fact that Cam is just so agile getting from pin to pin. They're going to continue to need to do that, especially with how strong a lot of these top outsides are. But he was incredible tonight, and he's going to continue to be the X factor for them. He's going to continue to have to be dominant both offensively, but more importantly defensively. UCLA doesn't need him to be the kill leader on this team. Realistically, he needs to be a very, very threatening defensive presence for them, because they're going to get production out of Cam. They're going to get production out of Micah. They're going to get production out of Rama and Kelly. But defensively, him, Cam, and Micah need to hold it down on that right side, so that, when you play a Long Beach and you're playing up against Skylar Varga or Dylan Klein on USC, or tonight where you virtually shut down both Roar and Sakanoko. That's the impact that David Decker is going to need to continue to have, alongside Rowan too, of course, whenever he's front row. But yeah, I think that transitions me into Andrew Rowan might be the front runner for National Player of the Year. Yes, Kelly looked incredible tonight, and Rama has looked incredible all year long too. But who's feeding them the ball? And the crazy thing is, it's not just in system, but even when UCLA is, scrapping and running around with their heads cut off, still somehow ends up right in the breadbasket, where the best athletes in the world can still find a way to go make a play on it. And it's because UCLA's quarterback is miles ahead. Andrew Rowan is in a league of his own. The way that he can find anybody that he wants to at any given time and keep everybody so comfortable, man. It's so impressive. Hawaii served really well at times in this match, but UCLA was still able to create so much pressure to where Hawaii was forced to send easy roll shots or free balls over. And obviously that's credit to UCLA's hitters, but Andrew Rowan's the one giving them the ball. And like I said, he's in a league of his own, and he's the biggest reason why UCLA is my favorite right now to win the national title. But yeah, going on to Hawaii, man, it was just not their night. I don't have the stats pulled up in front of me, but it nobody seemed to make that big of a difference besides Christian Tetrisky. And by the time he was subbed in, it was too late. He took over that third set for Hawaii, but he didn't have enough help. You can't win a volleyball game by yourself, and it seemed like he was the only one really producing in that third. Hawaii kind of went away from their middles because of how tough their passing was. Roar was impressive at times. Louis couldn't figure it out tonight either. It just seemed like everything that Hawaii's hitters were trying to do was an attempt at like trying to win the game off of 1 point. That works when you're playing a team that doesn't match up with you skill for skill, because you can live with a 1, 2, 3 point swing against those teams knowing that you're going to get the ball back. But when you're playing the best team in the country, you have to combine that explosive, trying to blast through the block with precision and thinking and ideas and stuff like that. And maybe that was just their scheme tonight, and we might see a different approach come May, uh, if and when I believe that they'll see each other again for the national tournament. But yeah, it just seemed like all of their hitters were just swinging 100%, and you compare that to Sean Kelly, Zach Rama, where on that left side, yes, they were bouncing a couple balls and a couple of really sick shots, hard cross, but then you're mixing that up with a couple of rolls here and there. You're mixing that up with high line, right? Not just trying to blast through every single block. And one thing I forgot to mention with UCLA is how impressive their block was, man. Um, I mentioned it a little bit with Decker, but it was very hard for Hawaii to set up at a system because the triple was up, and it forced Hawaii to send more rolls and free balls over, as opposed to, like I said, trying to blast through, right? It was their plan at the beginning to just try to destroy every ball, but when you feel the presence of that block, it can be a little bit harder to stay confident in that game plan, especially as UCLA started turning up their serves. But the biggest storyline for Hawaii tonight, dude, is that right side. Natrisky looked awesome in that third, bro. Like if they found somebody else, like if somebody else stepped up in that third, they lost by 2, 30-28. You get a little bit more efficiency and production from Roar or Sakanoko, and you're winning that set, right? And who's to say that winning the third and riding the momentum of 10,300 screaming fans in the Stan Sheriff Center, like that momentum can easily switch the flow of the game. What does Charlie Wade do moving forward? Right? There's a lot of internet trolls talking about Kainoa Nepo baby, blah blah blah. I don't think that's the case, because Kainoa Wade has been phenomenal all up until this UCLA match and maybe the match before, right, against Pepperdine. But man, like there was a different energy, and I think a lot of that was because it was Christian's first time on the floor. Well, I guess he played the night before, or the 2 nights before, but in an important match, and he just found a rhythm, and you could feel it, right? You could feel that energy for the team, and it really pushed them through. But I don't know, man. I don't know what Hawaii does with that situation. It's definitely going to be something to continue to pay attention to, especially as we get closer to May. But they're going to have to figure it out soon, because you do not want to go into the national tournament where roles are not set and you're not getting the right touches against these teams. But then again, I could be completely wrong, right? The other perspective, playing devil's advocate, could be, hey, you have two of the best right sides in the country battling for their spot on the floor, and on any given night, if one's off, you just sub the other one in, and they're out there trying to prove something, right? That could work out in Hawaii's favor, but only time will tell, and we will see what Charlie Wade decides to do after a performance like that from Tetrisky, despite them losing the game. But yeah, man, UCLA continues to surprise me. There's still a lot of holes in their game, but all the awesome stuff that they do, Loki just fills in those cracks when they show up. And no one's been able to find that solution. They've dealt with the pressure. They've blown teams out. I don't know if this team loses a match this year. Man, yeah, I don't know if this team loses a match this year, and they're playing at home for the national tournament. Could they do what Long Beach couldn't do last year? But let me know what you guys think. There's so much to take away from this game that I can't get to all in one video. I'll continue to talk about it throughout these next couple weeks. I'll do another breakdown video prior to UCLA's next match because I'll be watching live in person in Maples Pavilion at Stanford. So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys think about both of these teams. I think Hawaii bounces back. They're going to continue to still be one of the best teams in the country, especially now with the chip on their shoulder. Um, but UCLA, as of right now, is unstoppable. Yeah, drop your thoughts down below. Go down below and drop your comments. And while you're there, subscribe. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. We go live pretty much every other night on TikTok, and then on Instagram is where all of our big updates are. But seriously, guys, I really appreciate like all the support, especially these past 2-3 weeks, man. Like it's been really encouraging. I've been having a lot of fun. It can be a little overwhelming sometimes just trying to pump out as much content, but seeing all the support, all the hype, not just from the athletes playing, but also from all of you guys too. I'll continue to try to pump out as much as I can. But yeah, until our next video, we'll see you guys then.